Alright, here we are again. I apologize, I hit the button on my camera by accident, but as we can see, when I pull on the socket, loosens the belt. Okay. So now the belt is loose. I'll take the belt off. See how well that holds on there. Nope, yep, I don't want to drop that. Okay. Don't want to drop that into the liquid there, so I'm going to pull the belt out all together here. Okay, so now basically same thing's going to happen over here on this one. Let's see if I can hold this again. Right here is the bolt. When I loosen this bolt and this bolt right here, there's two of them, they will pivot. I can push the power steering down and pull the belt off. I also have some new hoses coming for the power steering, so that'll be nice. So now that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the video in order to show that, because I can't do it with one hand. Alright, so now, get some light in here. I have loosened up this bolt and this bolt under the, it's kind of tucked here under the belt there and there. Okay, now I should be able to just push this pulley downward. As you can see, there's a slot, so the bolt can slide along the slot. So when I push it all the way down, it should release the tension on this belt, and then I can just pull it right off. So let's see if we can do that with the damn light here. It's not working very well. Okay, I don't know how that... There we go. As you can see, that dropped right down. Now I have tension on my belt. I'm sorry, no tension on my belt. So I just pop this belt off. Now, I would just leave it hanging here, but I'm going to pull it off completely because it goes around the fan belt. Around the fan. And I do not want that to fall into the antifreeze. Now, this is still draining out down here. As you can see, as you cannot see, where is it? There we go. Alright, as you can see, it's still draining, but it should be down past the water pump now, I would think. So I'm gonna come under here. Alright, where it's draining out. Stick my light here. Oh, maybe not stick my light there. Here we go. Okay, looks like I'm finished draining anyway. Oh, maybe not. Just give her a little tighten up here. Tight, tight, tight. Okay, now I'll push this under the pulley a little bit more. As you can see, the pulley's right here. This right here is basically right under the pulley that we were messing with in a minute here. And I want to put this here so when I pull the water pump out, it's right under to catch all the fluids that might still fall out. Alright, back up at the top now. Dry off my hands here. Now I'm going to start relieving. I'm going to start unscrewing these hoses here that I talked about earlier. Gotta get my screwdriver. Okay, much better. Got some light in here. Alright, so now this actually goes to the thermostat. Okay, but I'm removing it to get it out of the way because I feel like it's going to be in the way anyway, and it's only one screw. So, might as well just get that thing out of my way. Now, I've already removed these before, but normally what you would do is you'd grab them with a clamp, kind of give them a little twist. That way they don't bust when you're trying to pull them out. But I've already removed these a bunch of times. Shouldn't be any issues. There we go, see? No issues. Okay, so now this one and this one, as you can see, I've replaced these hoses, so there's really no reason it shouldn't be tip-top shape. Not even a month old. Unfortunately, I've already done all this nonsense and I have to redo it. But sometimes it just is what it is. Apologize about the camera work, but deal with it. Or buy me a new camera. Let's see here. Alright, I'm gonna have to pause this so I can pull off these hoses, but that's what I'm doing. Alright, unfortunately, it looks like I'm gonna have to take my shroud off. Alright, this is the shroud that goes around the fan. Right here, this says caution fan. Okay, just a bolt down there. Same thing on the other side. Bolt down there. So that is my next step to remove those bolts. Alright, now I removed the fan shroud. Alright, but all I did was unbolt it and push it off because you can't get out with the fan in there. Alright, so now what's next is right there, right here is where I'm going to put on this wrench. Let's see if I can keep some light in there. Right, got this special wrench, and all it does when you put it on here, all it does is keep it from moving the fan. Okay, so that one goes on there, and hopefully it doesn't fall into my bucket there. Then I just take the socket, and it goes right here, and when I turn this and hold the other one still, it'll break loose, and then I can just unscrew it. Let's see if we can get the camera to stay here. Hopefully it does not fall, because I'll be pissed off. Now you want to get yourself a nice breaker bar for this, because I could almost guarantee it is going to give an issue. So as one gets turned one way, the other turns the other way, and unfortunately it seems like it's coming off very easily. That is not good. A wrench in there like that. Ow. Let's see how. Now, unfortunately, that thing is super loose on there. As you can see, I'm turning it with my hand, and that is no good. Alright, I'm going to need 2 hands for this so I don't drop my fan here. As you can see, it's that simple. Didn't say it was fast, I said it was simple. me turn this off and get this off. I'll be right back. Alright, so now this center one right here, let's see if I can get in here. This is just some kind of locking bolt. The other one is the long one, so unfortunately I got to take all 4 of these stupid things out just to get the fan out, which is, I think, totally uncalled for. But that's what I'm going to do right now. Alright, now that was super easy once I took the 4 bolts off. I would have showed you, but it was basically mounted like this. As soon as I removed the bolt, I just tugged a tiny bit and it popped right off. So that's some kind of locking bolt or whatever, which kind of aggravating, but actually it looks like it's part of the mount or something. But whatever, that's how it comes off, and yours most likely be 1 bolt, but if it's not, a couple bolts and no big deal. Alright, now the next step is pull off that pulley. This one right here, which is where the fan was. Okay. And don't forget to keep your bucket under, which I guess I could push it in a little bit more there. Okay, actually I forgot I have one more hose here, right here to release. But then the next thing, luckily, by coincidence, and my stepfather just happened to give me this puller. So, pretty simple. Okay, put the center bolt part right here. Okay, and then each hook wraps around and grabs onto the pulley like that. As you can see, I have not even used it, but I do not need it. Okay, and there we have it. There's the water pump. Pulley's off. Luckily for me, pulled right off, but you might not be so lucky. Okay, so the next thing is going to be this hose, and then from there the power steering and the alternator have to come off because unfortunately they're mounted to it on mine. I'm hoping that when I release these bolts, this bolt will keep it on here, but we will see. I'm going to have to be very careful about that. Okay, and then same thing over here. I'm hoping that if I leave this bolt on, it will keep the power steering from falling down when I release these 2 bolts. Alright, so it's looking uglier and uglier as we go, and it is about to be shiny, spanking gray. So, like I said, right here, as you can see, looks like I need to replace that hose anyway, which is probably what I'll do. I don't like to leave nonsense like this. Should I say put back nonsense like this. But let's not forget that when I pull this off, it is probably going to still have some fluid left in the tube here. So when I pull it off, I want to point it directly to my bucket. Let's not forget that animals love to eat antifreeze because it smells and tastes sweet and it will kill them. So please dispose of it properly. So once again, I'm going to need 2 hands to pull this hose off, but that is what I'm going to do right now. Alright, so now I figured I'd show you what I was talking about, the proper way to take these off since I'm having trouble getting it off. But basically what you do is grab it with a nice pair of pliers, or wrenches, I'm sorry. And I don't have a good enough grip here. I gotta adjust this a little bit. Okay. Stupid pulley's in the way, but I have a feeling this is going to wind up getting ruined. I'm going to have to replace it anyway. maybe not. Thought I had it. I have a feeling this thing's getting cut off and I'm gonna have to replace it. Which I am definitely gonna do anyway now that I'm having so much trouble with it, but I'd still like to just get it off right now. Can't get it in there. I need 2 hands. Okay. Now, I went onto the vehicle and I removed the hose at the radiator, which is right there, basically. I don't want to get it wet. Right, and then there's the hose. I got dripping into the container. I did make a tiny mess, not bad at all, but it's soaking up. Okay, so now, basically, when you come up here, okay, this hose right here that I was having trouble getting off is now hanging down there. Okay, so without dropping my flashlight, okay, make sure it's all drained out here. Now this piece, it doesn't want to come off. Actually feels really hard in here too, like something's stuck in there, maybe some junk. But so now I'll worry about that later because I'm going to replace that anyway, so I can actually just take these off now, pull the water pump, and it won't even matter because I'm getting rid of that anyway. Alright, so let me just get my sockets all set here and I'll be right back. Okay, moving the alternator bracket. In case anybody was wondering, I am not left-handed. Ah, jeez. Come on. Get out of there. In there good. There we go. Come on, almost. Okay, pop the other one out. It was a pain in the ass. Now, see if we can get this one out. Any issues? Okay. This freaking bolt right here was such a pain in the ass to get out. Is finally on its last leg. Look at that thing. It's rusted in there pretty good. Alright. Come on. Get out of there. Barely any damn shreds. I don't want to come out. Okay, now the other one's just down on a bracket. Make sure I keep my washer there. Now the other one, I've already removed these two bolts. And now, as you can see, it's loose. This one should be the same, although because of this one it's a little tight. Hopefully I can just jock it to the side and pull this bitch out. So that's what I'm going to try to do, move that out of the way. Alright, as you can see, the bracket still seems like it's in the way, but that's only because there's a bolt under there that I need to get to, and then all you got to do is crank on this. When I turn this way, it's going to make that swing up, but I don't want to do it yet because I need to get to that bolt that's right there. But I'm basically going to start removing these little bolts right here. So hopefully no issues, but let's see. Yeah, let's see. Once again, they look pretty loose, which makes me wonder if that's why it was leaking to begin with, but I'm already this far into it. We are changing the fuel pump, or water pump. As you can see, that comes off way too easy. Alright, so now let's see how this other one is. Gonna have to get an extension. Okay, now if you look at the old pump, the new pump, alright, this would be the down pipe. Let's bring it over there. Alright. Okay. Alright, so from the two hoses, okay, this is the bracket, this is bracket. This is bolt I'm, oops, sorry, this is a bolt I'm undoing. And there should be one there next. Okay, this is a bracket. There should be a bolt here. Bracket, no, I'm sorry, bracket, bolt. Another bolt. So basically, I believe there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think that, yeah, that one right in here. Get the center tight, but that's basically the bolts. So you can always, yours is going to look different than mine, so you can check that compared to the other one. And then you'll know how many bolts are in there, so you're not trying to pull it off and wondering why it's not coming off. So I'm going to finish removing those bolts. Alright, that's why you want to make sure that you have a bucket under there. What I did was just hit this with a hammer a couple times. Little tappy tappy, tappy tappy. You know, get that bitch to break loose. And then as soon as you do, everything starts coming out. And all you gotta do is get all this damn stuff out of the way. Come on, stay there. So you can pull this shit off. Should be off here. And of course that bracket's in the way. Okay, here's the water pump. Pulled it off. I just gotta keep pulling on it until it comes off once you get all the bolts off. As you can see, pretty crudted up. I'm sure that's why it was leaking. I really hope so. So the old one, I left the hose attached because I'm gonna replace that. Replace that hose. Alright, and then what I did over here was with the new one, as I took a bolt out, I put it in the spot it went in, unless I had a bracket. And I also broke a bolt, as you can see. It is right there. Come on, focus. Right there. Okay, now stupid light. God damn it. Alright, here's the bolt that I broke off. Come on. Alright, now all I did was, luckily it's sticking out enough. Just put a pair of vice grips on there. And I am proceeding to pull it out. Now, one other thing I noticed on mine is one of the screws that's supposed to be there is not there. Bolts, whatever you want to call it. So I am gonna have to make sure that that is taken care of. And the next thing I'm gonna do is clean up all this gasket here. Okay. Let's see here. All this stuff right here. So that's all remnants of the gasket and some rust and everything. Unfortunately, I was going to reuse my antifreeze, but I don't want that shit back in my vehicle, so it's not going back in there now. But so for the rest of the night, I will be cleaning this up really well, and then I will be putting away my tools and finishing up in the morning. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of my water pump video. Sorry for the non-edit, but I figured this way everybody could see the mistakes I made and hopefully not make them themselves. But that is the removal of your water pump on a 71 F100. Be back with part 2 tomorrow morning.